All right, so I saw Alita Battle Angel.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, this is also how I'm gonna change things up too. I'm gonna try and like focus my reviews on what I liked and didn't like about the film. So I'm gonna try and split it up.
Okay.
Here's what I liked and didn't like. Here's what I liked about Alita Battle Angel. First of all, I don't like when people want a film to fail. People are always like kind of against this movie. A lot of people are even calling it like predicting that's going to be one of the biggest flops of 2019. I don't like it when people just want to judge a movie before it's released. You know, I like to kind of give a movie, you know, credit.
You mean like
the
what we
benefit
do?
of the doubt.
We judge it before it comes out.
Yes, I don't like when people do that. You know, especially with Alita, I felt like I was really the only one who saw some like coolness in like the trailer initially. I felt like people were harping too much on the character design, which to me, look, I know you're gonna come at me for this. I'm not a huge anime fan. I don't understand the backlash. I feel like this would be an otaku's dream come true, in all honesty. Like, everyone complains about how they want a good anime movie that represents the characters well, but when they get a character that looks like an anime character, they're like, oh, it looks weird. I'm like, no shit, it looks weird. Anime is weird. The characters look weird.
Anime is weird, huh?
It is weird. It is.
Okay.
It looks, and the characters look weird. Not that saying it's a bad thing, but I once knew a guy, right? This is dead true. He told me he doesn't date girls because no human girl is ever going to match up with the girls he watches in anime. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, that's every single friend of mine.
Yeah. You see? So
2D or bust.
So when you see an anime person translated into real life, I feel like this would be a dream come true for them. It's like, I'm going to the theater in my trench coat, baby. So
oh my god. Those sickos.
So anyway, the character design didn't bother me, especially because people are like, her eyes are so weird, they're so big, and I'm like, yeah, but when you compare and contrast it to everyone else in the film, where everyone's bodies are just mangled and like weird looking, she's actually kind of the most normal looking person in that film.
Of course.
So it kind of, like, if you're bothered by the eyes, which I wasn't, but I've heard from other people saying, if you're bothered by the eyes or whatever, you kind of forget about it within the first like 10 minutes because you're surrounded by a bunch of weird shit. So that's one thing. And that's another positive I want to mention. I do like the special effects. I think the special effects are really well done. Mm-hmm. With someone like Thanos, you get motion capture. Thanos is, he's in 90% of the movie, but he's not in the whole movie, right? So they could spend more time like on him and make him look photorealistic. With Alita, she's in every shot of the movie. So there are some shots where, okay, they didn't spend as much time on this shot as other shots. You can clearly tell. The first shot you see of Alita is a close-up, right?
Okay.
And it's crazy how real it looks. Because I know that
first impression.
It's the first impression, so they obviously put a lot of time into that shot. You know, you could even see, like, the skin hair, like the hair on her skin, like on her face, you know, like those little micro hairs.
That's so weird.
It's so crazy, the detail and the artistry that went into this, that I can't help but pat Weta Digital. I think it was Weta Digital or James Cameron's team or whoever, ILM, whoever did it. Like, I gotta pat them on the back. Like, it's legit. It looks good, right? Mm-hmm. Better than the trailers. So that's one thing I liked. Rosa Salazar did a good job, and the performances all around are actually really well done. The first 25 to 30 minutes of this movie I thought were awesome.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Because you get into this, you get emotionally invested into Alita as a character, right? And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I am with it. Okay, so that's one good thing. And they try to develop a relationship with Christoph Waltz as like the father figure who like rebuilds her.
Yeah. Pinocchio.
And, yeah, it's like a Pinocchio thing. And Alita. And I'm like, okay, I like this relationship. I'm invested in this relationship. The action's really good. I should have seen it in 3D, but I didn't. Apparently, everyone's saying you need to see this in 3D because it's like, it makes it 10 times better. I didn't see it in 3D, but that's okay. There were some really good action moments, some really good, like, I imagine that this is, like, ripped straight out of the manga. Like, there are really cool, like, slow-motion freeze frames and stuff like that where I'm like, okay, I think if you like anime and manga, I feel like you can give some of this movie much more of a pass than, you know, a person who's not an anime fan such as myself.
Okay.
That being said, here's what I don't like about the film. I was really, really invested in the Christoph Waltz, Alita chemistry, right? And like their storyline.
Sure.
That is kind of abandoned in favor of a romantic storyline between Alita and this other dude. And I'm like, I don't really care about this other dude. Okay, like, I want to see the relationship develop between Christoph Waltz, who lost his daughter, and Alita. Because, you know, obviously they're filling each other's voids there, which we've seen before, but it was done really well. And I'm like, I want to see this relationship developed further. There's a point in this movie, this isn't really a spoiler, because it sort of just happens. There's a point in this movie where Alita finally calls Christoph Waltz dad, right? And it should be like, it should be like a like emotional moment, like, oh, that's so cute, like, wow, like, it's amazing. You don't feel that at all, because it's rushed and abandoned in favor of like her loving this random dude, you know, who has his own story, and every character is developed. So that's one cool thing. It's not like there are one-dimensional characters, you know. But I'm just saying, I would rather have seen the relationship develop between her and her father figure more than her and her boyfriend, right? Also, there are just some really weird choices, like there's this bar scene that goes against Alita's character. They're setting up Alita to be like this almost shy kind of wide-eyed girl who's like looking at the world for the first time, right?
Wide-eyed girl.
You got it. And she's like the shy, wide-eyed girl who's like looking at the world for the first time. And then all of a sudden, in this one scene, she's like a badass all of a sudden. Like, she's like cocky. She's like, yeah, I'm about to kick some ass. And I'm like, this goes against her character. Like, that is just weird. Like, it was just an odd choice for me, right? And then there's also a character, I won't say which character, who dies, only to get brought back, only to die again.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, why would you do that? And it was at that moment, Tyler, I realized, okay, they're fitting too much in here. It was at that moment where I realized, okay, they're fitting multiple books into one. And then afterwards, I did research. Turns out that's exactly what they did. And you know the whole mortar ball thing? You know, like, have you ever seen Alita? You're not an Alita fan, right? Okay, never mind. Well, motorball is like a sport. It's like a death sport, like a roller derby death race or whatever.
Okay.
It's synonymous with the character, so I get why they felt they had to add that in. But at the same time, I felt like they should have just spent one movie on developing her and Christoph Waltz's character and developing their relationship, and then used Motorball for the second movie, because Motorball doesn't even appear until the second book, you know?
Okay.
So, again, it felt like they were fitting multiple books in one, which I felt like was the wrong decision. I felt like the movie should have been more of a character study instead of this action-packed, you know, just kind of extravaganza spectacle film. It kind of, it's like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a character drama, or does it want to be a spectacle film? I mean, films can be both. But
it's hard.
It's hard, and I feel like this film kind of didn't know what it wanted to be. Also, this film commits one of my cardinal sins with movies. Okay? I just talked about this in my top 5 most hated cliche films. They kill a dog in this film, and I fucking hate it. It's like, how are we going to show that the bad guy's bad? Well, you know, we could use creative writing. Oh, we don't have time to use creative writing. Instead, let's just kill a dog. Let's have the bad guy kill a dog. I'm like, mother. And it doesn't serve a purpose. Other than that, as a matter of fact, Alita has a relationship with this dog, you know, when she, like, first gets born or whatever, and she's like, oh, like, what is everything? And then, like, she's, like, petting this dog. She's like, oh, my gosh, whatever, you're so cute. And then she saves this dog from dying in a different way, and then later on in the film, the dog dies, and she doesn't, like, feel anything. And that's during the scene where she's all cocky all of a sudden, you know?
Huh.
So in that scene, the dog dies, and she doesn't even feel anything.
She's kind of all over the place.
It kind of is, and I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, like, what is going on? Like, that's your dog. You had this connection with this dog. Shouldn't you be like, oh, and then maybe get, like, all, like, kick-assery and, like, get retaliation through that?
Uh-huh.
They don't do that. It was super weird.
That does sound
super weird. That whole scene was very strange to me. Overall, I commend Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron. I don't think this movie's bad. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is or wants it to be. I think it's at like a 60-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not getting like terrible reviews. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of flaws in it to make me say that this is a borderline 2.5 to 3-star movie. So it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 for me. Like right in the middle. It's not terrible by any means. It's not a bad film. It's not a film I regretted watching. You know, I was never bored in the film. But it's not something that, you know, I would rush out to see again, personally.
And you wouldn't recommend people to pay money for it?
I would recommend it to see it at a matinee, or just wait for it to get on streaming. Yeah.
There you go.
But that's not necessarily a bad recommendation.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you.
I'm not telling people to avoid it. I think it's pretty cool. And I love Rosa Salazar's performance. Alita's cute, okay? I'll say it. She's cute. All right? She's cute, and her character design just makes her more cute, all right?
Gonna turn you into an anime boy.
Hell no. I'm not using... No, not cute as in, like, attractive. I'm not saying that. I'm saying she's cute because she's, like... You know, like all
like a little
like
kid.
A little kid, like she's that type of cute. She's baby cute in the movie, and it makes you attach. It attaches you to the character. It just kind of sucks that they tried to fit so much in, where they couldn't develop the character that much. You know. Oh, and they sequel bait the crap out of this film as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was
that's
like,
stupid.
Yeah, and I was like, come on, man, really? So that's always a pet peeve of mine as well. Overall, not a terrible film, but not a good film. Somewhere in the middle for me.